Hello, this is OverlordBou, and we're back with another review video, and today we'll be reviewing the newly released Carnot, the French Tier 9 cruiser. So, this Tier 9 cruiser has a similar playstyle to the Henry. If you want to compare it to another premium, I would compare it more to a Gear, and maybe the St. Louis, the Tech Tree line. Now, something great about the Carnot is it currently is priced at 19,300 doubloons, but you can also get it for 228,000 coal. So if you're a firm collector of the coal, you can get yourself some amazing. You can get yourself this nice ship as well. So, this ship does have a 21.5 kilometer range with a concealment of 17.1, because this ship is surprisingly, I'd recommend using a lighthouse build. And I'll show you the build in 1 second. So, this build, you want to do turret traverse with the gun feeder and fire alert with the consumable enhancement, because you want to build into the engine boost, so we'll talk about that in a bit. Adrenaline rush, of course, superintendent with survivability expert. You want to get the extra HE damage, so you get your consumer a little bit higher, so you can get yourself a little boost to the close quarters for that buff. Now, the build for the modules is main armament with the engine boost module, main armament, propulsion, rudder shift, and range. The reason why you want to do range, you can do reload or range if you'd like, but the reload on this thing is 25 seconds, so, but the range of this thing is about 18.7. So unless you want to be more close, which I advise you being further away, it's better just to take the range, but of course you can take the reload if you'd like. You can pick either Hydro or DFAA, so if you want to be more of an anti-air boat, you can definitely take DFAA instead of Hydro. This ship's Hydro is 3.5 for torpedoes, 5 kilometer for ships. Now the propulsion, if you build into the engine boost, it does go for about 257 seconds, which is a super long engine boost. But you can also do a spotter plane or a fighter, either or, so it's up to you. But I do highly recommend the engine boost for the juking, and of course a heal, which is very useful heal. So, let's get into the match. So, again, I'd say this ship is similar to the HIV in its place, which is the Henry. You can also play this thing more as a, kind of like, it has a similar playstyle to the Gear and the St. Louis. Now, this commander build, you can also put it onto the French cruiser line as well. So, it's definitely very useful in that regard. So, for its price and for the recommendations, I would say this ship is a pretty decent ship for randoms for sure. I'm not sure why it's limiting the frames. Okay, that's better. Okay. So, pretty much, I would highly recommend this ship for randoms, random memes, and such like that. That's a lot of fun to do. But for ranked, I also recommend as well for fun. You can also do pretty serious gameplay with it as well for rank, but for clan battles, I don't really know if I would recommend this ship for clan battles. It's more of a random and kind of slight use in ranked ship due to the fact that it doesn't have radar, and you kind of have to keep this ship a little bit further distance. Yes, it does have a turtleback and does have 26 millimeters of bow armor, but the main issue is that the closer you are to battleships, you are going to get devastated. And it also has a low DPM due to a 25-second reload. So it's very likely that if you are not careful, you will get devastated by... You will get so heavily owned if you try to get close to any cruiser, pretty much. It just lets it farm you. But the thing is that this thing has such good guns, like there are 10 305s, that they can also do a lot of damage going back. You just need to utilize the engine boost. Now, this is what we're trying to go into. As you can see during this whole match, you'll be seeing me throttle juking, using the rudder module that I put into the modules to be able to dodge and move and pretty much evade the shots from the battleships. And if I do take a shot, I'm not really taking that much damage. And since the heal is 9,800 without the healing flag, if I do put that fight, I get about 11,000 heal, which is pretty strong. Like, I think that's pretty strong as well. Now, I would, if you want to consider its HE DPM, I would consider its Cheshire HE DPM is kind of like a Cheshire level, if you know what that ship is. It's kind of an HE, kind of like a DPM level of a Cheshire. But the HE pin on this is really good. It goes to about 50, it's a 51 HE pin, so it can go through pretty much mostly all decks, bows, aft, superstructures, you name it. It's going to be able to eat through all of it with its HE. Now with 305s, the AP is also going to be pretty decent as well. It's mostly just the fact that you can't allow yourself to get close or bait it in, because if you do, you can't utilize the engine boost of this ship, which is its best feature, to be able to dodge shells. And since it has a low DPM, like pretty much a battleship DPM on its reload, you don't want to get close to something. As you can see here, I'm going to be starting to turn around now since they are reversing. And this is a pretty good time to move in as well, because you have the team supporting you. Now, if you were by yourself, you'd probably still kind of reverse still to make sure, because they're most likely going to push if you're by yourself. But if you have a team there supporting you, you can pretty much just farm them all day. Because right now, we're about maybe like over a fourth into the match. We're at 77,000 damage. So we're doing pretty good this match. I'm pretty satisfied with this match so far. And as you can see during this whole, well, pretty much so far, the dispersion on this ship is really, it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. Like, I find its dispersion to be pretty decent for a tier 9. It has pretty nice dispersion. Because, like, most of the shots we've been hitting, we've been accurate, we've been doing a lot of damage. So far, we've gotten 6 fires with 52 shots, which is about maybe around like a 15% fire chance, so it's living up to its fire chance. It's doing a pretty good job. I like it. So here, maybe I should have switched to AP, but due to the fact that this thing does have a long reload, it's kind of better just to not switch rounds unless you really need to. It's better just to use the shell you have loaded, because if you try to switch the round, you will have like a 12.5 second reload to get the other shell in, which that's a long time to not being able to shoot. So it's better just to use the same shell and kind of just farm it out pretty much. It's better just to use the HE to farm it out pretty much. As you can see, we got another fire in the Iowa. And he was trying to out-heal the damage he was taking, but with that fire, it's definitely going to put a hamper on his efforts. But yep, at this point, we're almost halfway through the match. I did try loading AP here to see how it would do. So far, it's not doing the, like, the AP didn't do too well there, of course. Like, he's bowing. It was mostly just a test to see how it would do. Now, something that's special about the Carnot is it does have a turtle back, and it does have a pretty thick belt. But even though it does, if this ship gets close to battleships, the battleships are still able to eat through it and still do a lot of damage. I haven't experienced being citadeled in this ship yet, so I can't tell you how likely it is to get citadeled or not. But I would definitely bet that if you allow a battleship to see your broadside, you're definitely going to eat a citadel. Like, highly likely. Highly likely. But again, for this ship being, not, as you can see at the end of the match, you'll see how much damage I do. But I think this ship is definitely worth getting the coal. Like, 228,000 coal for this tier 9 beauty. I would really like that. The ship, like, having its engine boost for over 4 minutes and being able to go 44 knots, that is really quick. Even though it does have trouble stopping, if you have the acceleration module, of course, you are able to just pick up speed really quick to throttle juke, which is really good, which is pretty much well known which is pretty much a well-known playstyle of the Henry, being able to throttle juke and rudder shoot at long distances. So pretty much this ship is a very good practice for if you're trying to get the Henry. And again, you can put your cruiser commanders onto this ship, onto the Carnot, and use it to train your commanders for your French cruisers if you're trying to go down the French cruiser line. Now, you don't really see a lot of Henrys nowadays because I think it was last year they nerfed the Henry, but then they kind of rebuffed it. And so a lot of people they kind of forget about how good the Henry is. So this is definitely a ship that you can use to practice your playstyle for the Henry if you're going down that line. But I would definitely recommend it for that if you're trying to practice for the Henry. Now, as I was trying to say earlier, it has pretty decent HE, but it just has low DPM. Like, the 25-second reload really puts a hamper down on this ability to be able to DPM. But this match, as you saw, I had the perfect opportunity to farm battleships, just sit a little bit far away, like 12, 13 kilometers, and kind of kite away to 16, then back into them. Get that really nice farm going. That's the beauty of this ship. Its ability to throttle juke and dodge with the lighthouse build is amazing. I love its ability to do that. It's so much fun to do it. Now, you can also build into a closer build as well. Like, you can build a concealment build. You can do that if you'd like. You'd have a concealment around a 12.1, which isn't, like, it's pretty good for a cruiser, right? That's this armored. Like, this ship is pretty much a battle cruiser with how large the guns are, how big the ship is, and it also doesn't have torpedoes. Like, so, like, you can build it for close range, yes, but the fact that you have a 25-second reload really makes it where it's not worth it to push, like, to be more aggressive. As you can see here, I am starting to move in. I did show my broadside as Isle, which is not a good move at all. I would not recommend you doing that at all. I would wait to go dark, but since it's the lighthouse build, you're never going to go dark, so you don't want to reveal your broadside so open like that to a battleship. So as you can see to the south of the map, we have the Georgia, Iowa, and, well, actually 2 Iowas down there kind of holding off the team to the south, while me, Ferdigrab, and Donskoy are kind of holding off the team that's on sea right now. So right now, this match is pretty much in the bag. We've done a really good in this match, so I'm kind of just trying to farm, get any damage that I can. And as you can see, I did take a 10k salvo from that Ferdigras. I didn't really do enough throttle juking there, and that was my own bad. And I didn't really try to throttle juke or anything, as I was trying to see, like, I was just trying to see if I would get Citadel, and I didn't get Citadel. So I did a pretty, like, the ship is holding up really well to damage. So, to keep it going on, as you can see, I am using the HE shells onto the Ferdigras. I'm getting fires, I'm getting the damage. I'm slowly willing them down over time, and the dispersion's really nice. But again, the playstyle is either you can do a lighthouse build, which is the build I showed before, or you can do a closer quarters kind of build. But again, I would recommend the lighthouse build if you're more entwined with kiting ships. But if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, of course, the ship does have a turtleback, a thick belt. I believe it's around 180, I believe it's 180. If I'm wrong, someone can correct me on that in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate it. It does have a 26mm bow, which is pretty thick, so a cruiser isn't going to be able to break through your bow, and it's not going to be able to get your Citadel very well either. It's mostly the battleships you have to worry about. If you're broadside to a battleship and you're showing it too much broadside, you're definitely going to get blacked by this thing. But with the lighthouse build, with the rudder module, you're so maneuverable that you're able to swing your pretty much your bow into them to where they're going to ricochet off of your pretty much your turtleback. as long as you have the proper angle, because if you do not give enough, if you give pretty much too much angle to them, you're gonna get slapped. But as you can see there, I did a really nice little angle there turning in, and he missed most of his shots, and the ones that did just ricocheted except for one. So that was a very nicely done right there. Now, I did make the mistake here of getting too close to the Vertigras. Now, as I said before, I was pretty much doing what I told you guys not to. I pushed a battleship and got a little bit too close. Luckily, he did get killed, but as you see there, he did a lot of damage to my bow. Luckily, it wasn't a citadel, but again, you do not want to get too close to these battleships, because if you do, you are going to get blapped. This ship is a very strong kiting ship. It has very good armor for long distance. So that's why I recommend using the range mod instead of the reload. Of course, you can get the reload if you like, if you're more confident being closer range. But the range mod is more in case if you get into a tier 10 match where you have to deal with longer range ships. Like, if the Carnot goes into a tier 7 or 8 match, this ship will clap every ship with those 305s. Those 305s will devastate tier 7 battleships and will devastate tier 8 and even tier 9 cruisers. Like, those guns just do so much damage over time. It's just, you need to respect the battleships. You can, like, as you can see here, I got too close to this Iowa and he almost killed me there. Like, I got way too close, and that was my own fault. I was way too aggressive, and it almost killed me there. So luckily, he got distracted by the Donskoy, so I was able to start pretty much running away, getting as far away of him as possible. And just look how fast this ship is going. I'm going 41 knots right now. I'm getting as far away from him as possible. The Iowa also wants to get away from me, trying to run away, but just look at this AP salvo right there. A 9,000 AP salvo. Incredible. That is a really good... A 10k salvo onto an Iowa from this distance at that particular angle. That's a lot of damage. So if you hit the shots, you know where to shoot at. The guns can do a lot of damage. They can be very, very, very useful. You can see there another 8,000 damage shot there. So, again, for the price tag of 19,300 doubloons and the 228,000 coal, so you can get it for coal or the doubloons, I would highly recommend this ship if you're going down the French line in general. Like, if you're going down the cruiser line, I would highly recommend it. The ship does make an okay amount of credits. It's not really a credit farmer. It's more of a commander trainer, is the best way I could put this. It's more of a commander trainer. It's not meant to be a credit farmer like some ships are. So if you're looking for a credit farmer, this is not the ship for you. There are other ships that are better at credit farming than this ship. And again, the ship had 1.8 million potential, 188,000 damage. It's going to be around 190,000 by the time we're done. This ship definitely proved its worth. It has a lot of health, 70,000 health for a tier 9 cruiser. That is a lot. Like, this thing is tanky. Very, 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 very tanky. So, in that match, I did 191,000 damage, 1 kill. We earned a decent amount of, we got 11 fires and 10 secondaries. Now, we did 1,952 base XP. We got third on the team in that match, which we did a pretty good job. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, concerns, definitely let me know down in the comments. Again, I'd highly recommend this ship for randoms and ranked. For clan battles, most likely not. But again, thank y'all for watching. You guys have any questions, concerns, definitely let me know down in the comments. But thank y'all so much again, and I'll talk to y'all later.